Gray skies hung over Liberty City. Rain slicked the streets. Tommy Vercetti stepped out of the prison gates. 15 years. Gone. A lifetime swallowed by concrete and steel bars. He took a deep breath, the air thick with freedom and uncertainty. A sleek black limousine idled in the distance. Sonny Forelli's men. Tommy knew what awaited him, a chance to reclaim his life, but in a new city, under an old shadow. Vice City, a place of sun, sin, and the promise of something bigger. Tommy slid into the plush leather seat. The cityscape blurred into a kaleidoscope of neon and exhaust fumes as they sped towards the airport. He couldn't shake the feeling of unease. Sonny was 2 steps ahead, always. This venture into Vice City, it had set up written all over it, but Tommy had nothing left to lose except the life he was about to rebuild. The plane touched down in a blaze of sunshine. Palm trees swayed in the warm breeze. Vice City, a new beginning, or the beginning of the end? The deal was set in motion. A moonlit dock, the air thick with anticipation and the smell of salt. Tommy watched as his crew unloaded the cocaine. Years behind bars hadn't dulled his instincts. Something felt off. Suddenly gunfire erupted, shattering the night. Tommy hit the ground as bullets ripped through the air. He drew his pistol, returning fire, adrenaline surging through his veins. But it was a trap, outnumbered, outgunned. Tommy watched in disbelief as his men fell, their bodies riddled with bullets. The cocaine, the money, all gone. He barely escaped with his life. Sonny's voice boomed through the phone, a mixture of rage and disappointment. "You lost my merchandise, Tommy! My money! Fix this! Now!" The line went dead. Tommy slammed the phone down, his blood running cold. He was alone, stranded in a city he didn't know, hunted by enemies he couldn't see. Survival became paramount. Trust, a luxury Tommy could no longer afford. He needed allies, people who spoke the language of Vice City, the language of power, money, and violence. He found them in the darkest corners of the city. Ken Rosenberg, a fast-talking, coke-addled lawyer. Avery Carrington, a ruthless property tycoon. And Colonel Juan Cortez, a man of shadows and secrets. With each alliance, Tommy's grip on Vice City tightened. He started small, muscle for hire, eliminating the competition. But Tommy was never content with being a pawn. He craved control. He saw opportunity in the chaos, a chance to build something of his own. Word spread through the streets. Tommy Vercetti was someone to be reckoned with. He was no longer Sonny's errand boy, he was a force to be feared. The pieces of the puzzle began to fall into place. Whispers on the street, hints dropped in conversation, all pointed to the same name. Ricardo Diaz, a flamboyant drug lord with a penchant for pink suits and extreme violence. Tommy discovered that Diaz, driven by paranoia and greed, had orchestrated the ambush on the docks. The betrayal cut deep. Tommy had walked into Diaz's mansion that day, not as a guest but as a weapon of retribution. A bloodbath ensued. Tommy moved with the precision of a phantom, each bullet a nail in Diaz's coffin. When the gunfire ceased, Diaz lay dead, his once opulent mansion a testament to Tommy's ruthlessness. The message was clear. Vice City had a new kingpin. Section 5. Building an empire. Power, Tommy learned, was a hungry beast. It demanded to be fed. With Diaz out of the picture, his vast empire was up for grabs. Tommy, with his newfound influence and the loyalty of Diaz's former lieutenants, seized the opportunity. He bought businesses, legitimate and otherwise, each one a brick in his burgeoning empire. The Malibu Club pulsed with the rhythm of the night, a front for money laundering and illicit deals. The film studio, Interglobal Films, became a tool for propaganda and control. Even the seemingly innocent Cherry Popper ice cream factory served a darker purpose, distributing narcotics under the guise of frozen treats. Tommy's empire grew, its tendrils reaching into every corner of Vice City. He had become the puppet master, pulling the strings of the city's underworld. Section 6. Seeds of Betrayal. Success, Tommy soon realized, was a double-edged sword. It attracted loyalty, but also envy and greed. Lance Vance, once a trusted ally, grew increasingly resentful of Tommy's success. He craved the power and recognition that Tommy seemed to effortlessly command. The seeds of betrayal were sown in the fertile ground of Lance's ambition. Tommy, blinded by his own ambition, remained oblivious to the growing threat from within. He trusted Lance, perhaps too much. He failed to see the darkness festering beneath the surface, the hunger for power that mirrored his own. Lance, driven by envy and resentment, sought out an alliance with the one person who wanted Tommy dead more than anyone, Sonny Forelli. Section 7. The Final Showdown. The phone call came on a day like any other. Sonny's voice, laced with venom, sent chills down Tommy's spine. "You think you can steal from me, Tommy? This is my town. You work for me!" The game had changed. Sonny, enraged by Tommy's defiance, had arrived in Vice City with an army of mobsters, ready to reclaim what he believed was rightfully his. The final showdown took place at Tommy's opulent estate, a monument to his ambition and a symbol of everything he had fought for. Lance, his face contorted with betrayal, stood beside Sonny. Gunfire erupted, shattering the facade of civility. Tommy, outnumbered but not outmatched, fought back with the ferocity of a cornered animal. Betrayal cut deeper than any bullet. Section 8, King of Vice City. The air reeked of gunpowder and death. Bodies littered the manicured lawns of Tommy's estate. Lance lay dead, his betrayal punished in the most permanent way possible. Tommy stood over Sonny, a mixture of sadness and cold fury in his eyes. "You said it yourself, Sonny, this is my town now." A single gunshot echoed through the night. Tommy had won, but victory came at a heavy price. He had stared into the abyss and emerged victorious, but the journey had left its mark on his soul. He was no longer the same man who had stepped out of that Liberty City prison. He was colder, harder, forged in the crucible of Vice City's underworld. He was a survivor. He was a king. Section 9, A New Dawn. The sun rose over Vice City, casting a golden glow on the city's skyline. Tommy stood on the balcony of his mansion, overlooking his domain. Ken Rosenberg, his voice shaky with a mixture of awe and fear, approached him. "Tommy, you did it. You're the king of this town now. What are you going to do?" Tommy took a deep breath, the weight of his victory heavy on his shoulders. "We've got work to do, Ken. This city, it needs us." He looked out over the sprawling metropolis, a city teetering on the edge of chaos and possibility. Tommy Vercetti, once a pawn in someone else's game, was now the master of his own destiny. The future of Vice City, for better or worse, rested in his hands.